Mercury retrograde comes around regularly, several times a year, and people are always up in a flurry about what is going on at that time, because what they say on the grapevine is that when Mercury retrograde happens, things go wrong, communications go awry, but maybe you already know all this if you're watching it, and you want me to get straight to the point. How can you protect yourself during this time? Well, one of my favorite sayings around Mercury retrograde came actually from the Academy of Oracle Arts. I think I heard it from Isis Andrea, and she calls it Mercury Upgrade. So what happens when things get extremely challenging? It's like being able to become a diamond or a pearl. It's when things are difficult, condensed, and yes, things go wrong all the time, but depending on how you meet this time, you can seriously upgrade your ability, your skills to meet challenges such as this one head on. And I always love what Jana Jinton says when she talks about the way of the bison, that when there's a storm, you go straight into it. So that would be tip number one. You can't always control the storm. You can't make it always go away unless you're a really powerful weather witch or shaman. You have got to deal with the things that come around that make life really, really hard sometimes. And for many of you out there watching this, unless your astrological chart is in a specific way, you will experience this during Mercury retrograde or upgrade, or you will see this in your friends and family around you. So meeting it head on, knowing you can't change anything about you, about the situation. This awareness already is extremely useful, and it'll help you feel more at peace and less anxious when times like these come around. Small side note, this is not just applicable to Mercury retrograde upgrade. It's applicable to any time there's a storm brewing and you know it's going to come at you and you know you got to meet it. So sometimes that's a super difficult meeting or a super challenging heart-to-heart, or facing the with someone you love when you messed up or they messed up. There's all these uncomfortable situations, and if we look at what's happening in the world, we can't. It would be nice, it would really be wonderful to be able to change some of the things and bring ease and peace and make things flow more. But it's just not within the power of the individual, at the very least, or the mortal human to do so. Let's get to point number 2. This brings me back to a story where I did some divination during the Mysteries of the Wild Nights, which you might want to stay with us and join that. It's every year around November, December. Very, very awesome stuff on Magic is Key. But I was doing some visioning into the year ahead, and I knew there was going to be a day where I would experience a bang. And I had written it down, and months later, the day comes around, and I experienced a big bang against my head that landed me in hospital. So, what could I have done to change it? And this applies to Mercury retrograde because it's the same energy. We know something's coming. How can we change it? How can we meet that time? How can we protect ourselves? And the answer is really simple. It's alignment and grounding. It's got the same feeling of point number 1, being at peace. But here we are taking it a step further. We are going at it with practice, with meditation, with our connection to spirit and our body. So what does grounding look like? It means taking a deep breath wherever you are, maybe closing your eyes, maybe not, and sending your roots down into the ground. As simple as that. And when your roots are down in the ground, feel into that connection and feel into the strength you can draw from below. Let it fill you up, being rooted here on this earth. And when your roots are strong, and remember what we imagine and visualize in meditation feels real to our bodies, to our brains. So when we have strong roots deep down in the ground, we become strong trees. And what happens with strong trees in a storm? They're not the ones that topple over. They're the ones that keep on standing. So once the storm blows over, the Mercury Retrograde blows over, the water from the rain can evaporate, everything can unfurl once more, and we can welcome the sun, because we are still standing strong. We can welcome the next part of the cycle that is more smooth and more easeful. And if you would love to be guided through a grounding meditation, and you're unsure what I just explained to you in brief, then head on over to our YouTube video, which is linked below, on a beautiful grounding and centering meditation. Now let's move on. You've got your strong roots. You are at peace with the storm that is coming at you. But there's still this wild energy, maybe still some anxiety, and you're not really sure how to deal with it. Say you scheduled something and it's all falling to pieces. You had a plan that is completely falling apart. Well, here's your Mercury Upgrade chance. But we gotta meet the challenge with all of our strength. And sure, it's great to have strong roots and it's great to feel at peace. But there's this other part, which is called alignment. We want to align all our parts, because when we feel even a little bit of anxiety or something just fell apart completely, if we're out of alignment, then our head will be trying to fix it somehow, think its way out of it, while our body and our nervous system will still be incredibly anxious and disoriented. And then our emotions are coming in and pulling us in all sorts of directions. And then maybe our past programming from our childhood is coming in and saying, oh, it's my own fault, I'm not good enough, I'll never be able to sort this out. So all these pieces within us are pulling in different directions, making it incredibly hard to sometimes see the solution that is right in front of us, or to come up with a workable plan. So what does alignment look like? It looks like first having some knowledge of all the parts that make up your body. Now, there are some wonderful magical alignment practices out there. We've got one inside of Magic is Key. The grounding and practice is in some ways, grounding and centering practice that we have on our YouTube channels is also a kind of alignment. But I want to give you a little extra, especially if you're new to this material or you know a lot about it and you want a different way to look at it. So we want to, for alignment, have an awareness of all the parts that make up ourself. There are systems like the chakra system, but we can also just look at the basics, the way we experience them in day-to-day life. There is our physical body that has its own wants, needs, and desires. Then there's our emotional body or emotional brain, whatever you want to call it. And our emotions often are stirred by unconscious factors, subconscious elements weaving its way in. Sometimes it's a mystery why something makes us explode or why we feel at peace and calm. So that's the emotional component. Then there is our mental conscious mind. That is the tip of the iceberg, with which we often try to solve problems, with which we understand the world around us. It helps us name things, tell them apart. It knows when our body ends and the rest of the world begins. So it's vital for interaction and communication. And then there's also our energy field. And whether you're into any kind of spiritual practice or not, it's very real. And it's also influenced by culture. So for example, if you want to experience your energy field, just the next time you're around a lot of people, this could be public transport, the city, a party, whatever it is, notice what it's like to stand a little bit too close to a person and what that feels like. Now notice when you're so close to a person, just past your comfort zone, how you can feel their energy and how they very often will feel yours by either stepping back or a change in mood. So we can notice this in daily life in very easy ways and start to get to know that part of us. And alignment looks like bringing all these parts in line together. And then ideally also connecting outward to the universe and downward into the earth. So in practice, very simple, what this can look like is take a deep breath. You can do it with me right now. Take a deep breath into your body. Feel your body. Then inhale deeply and bring it in. Bring it into what feels like center. Do this with 2 more breaths. And just this deep breathing, the intention to bring it into center, make that feeling very visceral in your body, of the body coming into center. And then we want to do the same thing with our emotional body, feeling what you're feeling right now, breathing it into center with 3 breaths. The same thing with your mental state, and then finally with your energy body. 3 breaths, 4 different parts. And if you want that extra alignment to the outer, 3 more breaths to the roots down into the ground, 3 more breaths, branches up amongst the stars. And now you are aligned and connected to the cosmos, which puts you in flow with things, which aligns you with what is happening. So if Mercury retrograde is happening, you can move with Mercury retrograde rather than against it. Not all of us are salmon. Some of us like to just swim with the stream, and especially when we're tired and life is a lot, then we want to just swim with the stream. Let us take it along, and we're sitting in our canoe, and there's the rocks, and because we're aligned and we're at peace and we're alert and aware, we can dodge those rocks and keep going. Or the most advanced practice maybe would be to step out of the stream in moments like this and catch some salmon and nourish ourselves. And that would be to just sit back, make no plans whatsoever, let the good food, the nourishment of the wild times come to you, and then when it passes over, if you have this luxury, get back in the stream and keep going along with the flow of life. So that's my 3.5 wild weaving story of how you can protect yourself during Mercury retrograde. If you love this video and want more content like this, say more information on how to meet challenging times and the spiritual practices you can do, let us know in the comments below. And make sure to hit like and subscribe to the Magic is Key YouTube channel. See you next time.